This is Shasta Borland, and the article I chose is Inch by Inch We Measure. This one starts out with connecting math to a book that they read in class. In the book, there's an inchworm, and he has been caught and is about to be eaten. And to save himself, he proves that he is useful. He shows that you can use him to measure things such as a beak or the neck of a flamingo, and is able to save himself. And then they link this story with a Common Core standard that's stated here, and I'm going to talk about a little bit more soon. And then they're talking about the overall question here. How can they explain that these paths are the same, different, which one's the shortest path, which one's the longest path, and how they're going to do that. So they talk about on day one, day one, they're going to figure out how many worms it takes to measure this length. And they can do that with different things such as estimating, drawing, and measuring with different tools. This person chose to make tick marks, and he said it takes 77 worms. This person chose to estimate the length of horizontal line, and he or she did these lines. As they're going through trying to figure this out, the students make a realization that they can't have gaps here, that they're not measuring the gaps. And that makes it so they realize they need to put the worms end to end in order to properly measure how many that it takes. And you can see here the student put the worms end to end. On day two, the question is, the inchworm is trying to get from one side of the garden to the other. He has 4 different paths that he can take. He wants to take the shortest path. Which one? So they use these worms to measure the paths and trying to figure out how it is. And they use different things. They line them all up going down, or they use one and then move it, make a line, move it, make a line, or they use 2 and put them inch by inch, jumping them over one another. Well, they came up that all 4 of these paths took 16 worms. And so then the next question is, how do you explain to someone how it takes 16 worms? Well, you could take them all and line them up going down, and then put them all in a line and show that for every path, and that they're the same. You can simply show someone that the worms on it and that they all take 16. You can use the tick marks and show that it takes 16. And they discuss these different ways to show how they would explain this to another person. And then after they go through how to explain that, they decide to use the ruler. And with the ruler, they have to ask, how many worms do you think it would take to go down this ruler? And they're guessing about 18 to 34 worms. After they start putting on the worms, they have a sudden realization that this is how the inchworm gets its name, because they are exactly an inch long. And it takes 12 inchworms to go down, and that each tick mark on this inch ruler is 1 worm. So first they make these connections to measurement on their own, placing things next to each other and figuring that out in the correct way to measure in their own way. And then they're putting it with something that we use that's common to use in life. So I would connect this. This is a first grade representation, and I will be a first grade teacher. And I could use this to represent a concrete representation and then move in. And it goes along with the Common Core standards. These ones, using the different objects to compare lengths. They're using the lengths of the line, the lengths of the worms, and the lengths of the ruler. And then they are able to express it by putting things end to end and understand that length measurement of an object, the same size length unit, span it with no gaps or overlaps. And they realize that they cannot have gaps or overlaps when they're measuring, and they are laying multiple copies of shorter objects in order to measure. So this lesson goes right along with the standards.